Hello, welcome to the channel. This is Matt. Uh, Today what I have here is a very pretty guitar. This guitar right here is a Fender E series. I believe it is a Contemporary Strat, probably 1987, according to some sources on the internet. There are quite a few demos of these already in existence on the internet. And so I just kind of wanted to give my personal impressions of this guitar. I'm going to be upfront about this guitar, and I'm going to tell you what I paid for it. I paid $300 for this, which I knew was a pretty good deal when I saw it. It was somewhat of a risk to buy this guitar because it was in like a state of disrepair. It had been in somebody's garage probably for years. I really think it was in his garage because when I took the guitar case home, like, a couple spiders crawled out of it, and it really, like, you couldn't really play it because like it was missing strings, and the frets were all dirty and kind of grody, and the guy was only asking $300, and so I thought that I would take it, but I realized it would be somewhat of a gamble because of the condition of it. I think that overall the condition on this particular one was pretty good, especially for $300. It was a gamble that I took, and it ended up paying off. Now, let me just get straight to what I think about this guitar. My main issue with it would probably be the pickups on this. It's kind of a conundrum because on the one hand they sound really lively and kind of like bright, but they're somewhat low output, and so that means you kind of want to put the guitar, you want to put the pickups up higher, which is going to make it even more bright, but they're already bright to begin with. And so I'm just going to kind of play through my style with it so you can hear it. I think right now the way that I have the pickups set up are pretty good. I just use my ear. It's kind of unconventional. I have the pickup kind of really low on the bass end on this side and high on the treble side. And I think that setup right there for this neck pickup sounds the best. Okay? So that's what you're going to be hearing when I play through it. I have the guitar mic'd up. It's going through a solid state amp. It's a Fender solid state amp, and I'm going through a bunch of effects. It's going through a 4x12. It's mic'd up, so you'll hear what it sounds like. I don't want to do any kind of boring video on it. I just want to play on it, and so I'm going to turn back on my AC, and so it shouldn't matter if But that's what it sounds like when I play it. Now let's just give some more general thoughts about what I think of it. There are a lot of videos on it. It's unfortunate that I can't find a whammy bar for this Kaler. I'm really interested to hear how it sounds. I have another guitar with a Kaler trem, and I don't know if I can find that one either, but that's kind of unfortunate. I would say one of the stupid things about this guitar, though, is that I think that this thing could use a truss rod adjustment. But this thing right here, this locking system, this is bullshit. I think it's pretty much bullshit, like locking systems like this, because I have yet to find a single guitar with a locking system like this. Doesn't matter, Floyd Rose or Kaler or any of the other ones. I have yet to find one that you can actually dive bomb and it comes back in perfectly in tune. It always comes back slightly out of tune. Even when I'm watching Eddie Van Halen, even Eddie fucking Van Halen's guitar, when he's shredding and he does a dive bomb, it comes back and it's slightly out of tune, and it's enough that you notice it. And all that I feel like the system does is it kind of keeps. I haven't tested it on this one. I'm gonna say that I haven't really tested it, but from my experience, that's been my general impression of stupid Floyd Rose systems. Now, maybe other people with $3,000 guitars with the system, maybe their system is working. I mean, you'd think that they would at some point, but yeah. So that's my general take on Floyd Rose systems. But I would rather have a guitar that it's easy just to tune up like this. So right now this thing isn't even locked, and it's staying in tune pretty good. I'm not using the whammy bar at all, but it's staying pretty good in tune without this thing locked. But it's such a pain in the ass, because if you do dive bombs on systems like this, it comes back. The strings come back up, and it's always going to be slightly out of tune, and you're going to want to retune. So you can either dick with this, and you do that a few times, you're going to max out your little adjustment things on here. And so I think that these types of systems are kind of bullshit. They're kind of stupid, because I would rather have to tune a guitar after a dive bomb and have it be easy to tune it up to make it perfectly in tune, than just to be dive bombing and have it be like in general in good tune. So I think that these types of systems are kind of worthless, but I could be wrong. I mean, one cool thing about these systems is that you can do some more extreme, like floating trems, where you can kind of bend it back, and I think that that's pretty neat. Sometimes you can get kind of extreme, but maybe you shouldn't take my word for it. I'm going to talk some more about the frets on this. The frets on this guitar are pretty damn big. I don't know officially what size they are, but they're definitely bigger. That was one of the first things I noticed about when I picked up this guitar. This guitar is fairly light, and I believe this is a contemporary Strat because it has an extra fret, you know. And it's really hard to get particular information. You see how it has an extra fret compared to this one that's, I think it's like 22 or something. So I'm pretty sure this is a contemporary Strat. Now, one of the reasons that the pickups may sound harsh could be because it may have a TBX tone circuit in it. It may, because I noticed when I roll back the tone, it doesn't really sound that much more muffled when it's like halfway. But on the other TBX guitars that I had, I always noticed that it would kind of like stop in the middle. So maybe it just has a TBX circuit. But I do think that this thing does sound good for the style that I was playing with it. Now, with the most like extreme, like shreddy metal stuff, I feel like it's just a little too harsh. So I think this is a good like classic rock type of guitar. Even though it's supposed to be the contemporary Strat, I feel like that it does like it's just, the pickups are just kind of too harsh to do like a heavy metal type of distortion thing. What's cool about these contemporaries is that they also have a micro neck tilt adjustment thing, which I adjusted when I got it. Yeah. Oh, and another thing that's different about this guitar is that you see how this back plate is like flush with the body. It's like there's a little groove in there, and it's definitely different than than most other Strats. That's kind of an unusual thing on this. So I'm definitely sure this is a contemporary Strat. I think that the pickups are kind of a catch-22. I like it. I'm fucking happy with what I paid for it and how it sounds. But I have the luxury of owning like a shitload of fucking guitars. I own a fucking shitload of guitars, and so I can get away with having guitars that are just kind of like specialized purpose. And I tell you what, I am thrilled that I got this for 300 fucking bucks. And that's not unusual, and I know some fucking people are trying to get like 600 or a fucking 1,000 for this bullshit. That's fucking too much. I think that that's really fucking too much. And you can go ahead and fucking put whatever you want on my fucking video. I don't give a fuck. If you paid 1,000 fucking bucks for this, maybe you're rich, or maybe, but this is not one of those type of gear validation videos. I'm just giving you my general impressions. For 300 bucks, I love this guitar for 300 bucks. For 400 bucks, I would like it. I would still like it. I'd definitely consider it at 400. At 500, in the condition that it's in, I would consider it, but I'd probably pass. Now, if it was in perfect condition, that might be a different story. Like if it was sunburst, I might pay 500, but I think it's pretty unlikely. I used to have a fucking sunburst contemporary Strat years ago, and that's a whole nother fucking story, cause this was like when I was fucking broke and shit, and like I had a fucking job at Tim fucking Hortons, and I used to fucking donate plasma. That was like my fucking job. Was I fucking donated fucking plasma because I was a lowlife, and I think I was asking like $350 or something for it, and some fucking dude, he was like, "Oh, drive to my house," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll drive. If you want to buy, I'll drive and drop it off." Then he gets there, and then he like tries to get me talks me down like to 270 fucking 5, and that pissed me the fuck off. But it was like, yeah, I already drove a fucking hour to your fucking house. So when I saw that this guy was selling this for 300, which I did not lowball that guy, that was his fucking price, with 300 fucking bucks, that I decided I really fucking wanted this thing, you know, because you know, I mean, it's a good fucking price. But I've been seeing people trying to sell these for a fucking $1,000 or 600 bucks. I mean, 600 maybe you can see, because I mean they're asking a fucking $1,000 for like those Ventera Mexican Strats, which are really nice. I would say that those Ventera Strats are probably nicer than this. I don't know, but you know, but then again, the Ventera Strat, they're not fucking 35 fucking years old, you know? So it's kind of hard to fucking compare a guitar that's 35 fucking years old that may not be in the best of shape, and to say if it's really better or not. So my general impression is that it's pretty light. I'm really happy with this fucking guitar at 300. I'm happy boy. I'm just thrilled to fucking death that I got it. So thanks for fucking watching. If you don't like it, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't really care. I don't care. I'm just doing this for fun. I know that's not very nice of me to say that, but I'll probably just edit that out. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Thanks for watching.